Rest in peace to Viola Fletcher, the oldest living survivor of the massacre in Tulsa, Oklahoma. She testified before Congress. It's a shame that Mrs. Fletcher never got reparations, and she spoke about it. You know, when you think about the horrific scene of Tulsa and what happened and how to go through that and to not to be, respected. And if you didn't learn, you learned about it, didn't get it in school, so to have to hear about the stories of it and how it happened 100 years ago and someone to live to tell it. Viola Fletcher was a strong black woman, had to endure that pain and anguish, and they didn't take heed to give her respect for that. That was a very tragic episode and chapter in history. When you see stuff like that, you just feel like it just tears at the core of your soul. You just wonder, can you do? How it just feels such a devastation. When I talk about massacres and things like that, when it comes to racial situations, that wasn't like 500 years ago, 400, 300, 200. That was 100, over 100 years ago. And that really devastated and divided Tulsa, Oklahoma. And when you have episodes like that, like you had in Oklahoma, you had in Rosewood, Florida, all the way up to Emmett Till, Black Lives Matter, you have to understand the need to protect and also understand the history, because it wasn't that long ago. And Mrs. Fletcher was an embodiment of something that was very powerful, something that needs to be taught. People need to take heed that if you don't take care of situations, histories can repeat itself again, and that people will be susceptible to doing things and acts of inhumane if they think they can get away with it. And so she was very powerful, very important to what she had to say and what she saw. And think about that, to live that long and to take that in 113 years, but no justice. Imagine that. Imagine if you see something where lynchings and massacres and things like that are allowed. Postcards are made like it's a sport, like it's a ritual. That's not that long ago. And I applaud her strength and courage, but it also shows you the ugliness and the legalized Jim Crowism and everything that has been continued to fester and to go down, and why it needs to be dealt with. It's one of those things where people take it for granted and you become inhumane, you become numb to it. But you see, that's the cycle of mental illness that has allowed to manifest. And so I applaud Mrs. Fletcher's fight, her courage, her strength. We need more souls like that. We need more people to talk about it and to put into perspective, because if you don't, you have a way of trying to like acting like it's normalized and like it's not much to it, when it really is a dreadful reminder of a not so distant past. So Viola Fletcher was a living embodiment of something that we're grateful for, her courage, her strength, and admire her. And it's a shame she never got justice, because that whole massacre in Tulsa was beyond genocide. It was horrific, and it still plays on your mind. So you can only imagine. And she was the last living survivor of it. And they did her cold by not even giving her what she talked about reparations for, which it should have been. False accusations and things that are never proven. And you still have to fight. And I want to take time to remember her and put prayers and thoughts to her family and friends and people who want justice and the balance of it. Bless her soul. I'm out one time. Peace.